Spoken day-to-day meditation.
She's done that, so let's read that from you. Change the view.
The third story, in what we might call our little trilogy, to make that tripod in which we have the possibility to rest, an awareness, perhaps even a realization. Rabir was one of the very greatest of the Sufi saints. And in her later life, every day she would walk to the town square, where she would share with anyone who came by, who cared to listen. But every day, on her way to the town square, she would pass the mosque. And every day, sitting on the stairs of the mosque, was another Sufi by the name of Hassan. And every day, Hassan was weeping, tears flowing from his eyes, lamenting and praying and invoking, "Please, God, open the door, let me in, let me in." And every day Rabir would smile to herself as she passed him on the way. And then, one day, suddenly, she walked over to Hassan and she shook him soundly. "Stop this lamenting, stop this invoking, stop this weeping. You are already in. There is no door." Suddenly, Hassan stopped his wailing and knelt in front of Rabir, thanking her. "Thank you, thank you. I may have spent the rest of my life weeping on these stairs." But then he said, "Tell me, you pass this way every day. Why did you not approach me before?" And Rabir replied, "It is known that it is one of the laws of our faith that not even a king can interrupt a beggar when he is at prayer, nor can a policeman take into custody an assassin until he's completed his invocations. If I had approached you before, you would have said, 'Don't interrupt my prayer.' But now is the time. Now is the time. We might say that over these last days, with the stories, the first story told, giving us the possibility of illuminating our self, and the second story, illuminating our relationship with people and life, and this story, illuminating our relationship with that which is called God. But if we look to our tripod and put together our trilogy, there is one last story. It's the story of another great Sufi saint called lovingly Bayezid. Bayezid went on the pilgrimage to Mecca, sewing into his robes 10 dirham as a donation. And on the way, he was drawn to visit the great saints, the mystics, the masters who dotted the path along the way. And it came to a point in the road when he was just a day's distance away from the great Kaaba, when he was drawn, inexorably drawn, to a ramshackle hut off the main road where a blind saint lived. After giving the salutations, the saint, although blind, called Bayezid by name. Bayezid, Felicious one, where are you going? And Bayezid responded, tomorrow I will arrive at the great Kaaba stone. And what donation do you have to give? Said this saint. Bayezid replied that he had sewn into the hem of his robe the donation of 10 dirhams. And then the saint spoke. Bayezid, the Kaaba stone is a reciprocal of grace and blessings. But here, in this body, is a living, breathing vessel of God. Circumambulate me 7 times. Give me the donation that you had, and you will have completed your pilgrimage. Putting our 3 stories together, and now what is it that these stories bring for us? Remembering that it's been suggested that every character, every archetype And every symbol in these stories is representation of our self. What is the meaning that arises for you? Do you dare, and indeed were each of us challenged, to stand up? Stand up and speak. Give testimony like a Rabir, even if no one appears to be listening. To speak up. What will you say? What arises for you?